How would you like to make people want what you're selling before you even show them what it is? Good salespeople always complain about how the customers had no urgency and they couldn't build any need and desire. The key is that they do have need and desire, or you wouldn't be there. Sometimes it's hidden because they won't show you and you have to get them to reveal it. Sometimes they may not have the realization and you need to help them realize it and bring the spark of interest to a white-hot fire of desire. The sales questions you ask a customer helps do that, and it does so before they even see the product. It's generally called the needs analysis part of your sales call. There are different ways that I see salespeople ask their customers questions. Sometimes they do it in the warm-up or walk around as they're talking to the customer, almost off the cuff, like, "So how long have you been thinking about getting a new HVAC system?" Or, "Well, how soon do you want your windows installed?" It almost sounds like a sneaky way of doing it. Other companies may give you a written survey or needs analysis you can use in the home. Most salespeople don't use it or skip around it because they don't really understand how to use it, or the questions they use are weak. To me, the most effective way to ask questions is to make it a specific step of your sales call where you're sitting down with your customer and asking questions like a professional. I introduce it and we do it sitting at the kitchen table. You want to have specific questions written down so that you do it perfectly and don't forget any. It's also more professional, and the customer will follow your lead more when they see it's written down. When you do it this way, you can dig deeper, and it doesn't seem like you're being too nosy than if you did it in the warm-up. It's a design step to give you a lot of information instead of you trying to fish it out on the down low. For those of you who think this won't work or alienates people, I've been in home improvement sales for over 35 years and personally been in over 16,000 homes, as well as training literally thousands of salespeople to do it this way, and it works. It doesn't matter if it's a quicker sales call with a lower ticket like HVAC or full-blown $100,000 kitchen remodel. It builds your credibility with the customers, and it's deadly if done right. When you know how, doing it this way is invaluable and should never be skipped. All professionals ask questions, and if they didn't, it would destroy their credibility. I mean, can you imagine going to a lawyer or doctor or accountant and they didn't ask you anything and just said, "Okay, here's what I recommend"? Selling in its purest sense is solving problems, and the better you understand the problem, the better job you can do of solving it. Plus, when they tell you their problems, they amplify it. In this video, I'll show you how I do a needs analysis, some of the best questions I use, and other ways of doing it like this that will help you make more money. So watch until the end so you don't miss anything. Now, if you like these type of videos, please subscribe to help me. So normally, after you first get in the home, you get rapport. Then the next step should be to use the written survey or questions. A key is that you introduce it. Well, if you don't mind, I just have a couple of questions to ask you so we can do this faster. If you just start asking questions, then it does seem weird and it confuses them. The customers thought they were getting a free estimate, and what are all these questions coming from? Just introducing it like that will help it make sense and they won't fight you on this. Pro tip, anytime I'm trying to get control, seating arrangements, asking questions, etc., I always say, "So we can do this faster." Because at this point, they want you out as soon as possible, and by saying this, it's a good way to get the customer to go along with whatever you want. In general, the needs analysis always has two types of questions. You have basic information questions you should always know. Are they the homeowner? Specifics on what they want, like the scope of work, the number of windows they wanted estimates on, if they want the fascia done with the siding, if they want furnace only or furnace and air, etc. The other types of questions give you information, but they also help create and amplify the need and desire. To me, the most important question I can ask is, what's the main reason you wanted to get information on replacing your blank, blank, blank? The key to this is not selling at all or being too aggressive. Why this question is so powerful is that when you say, "Why do you want to get information?" it's really a fancy way of saying, "Tell me all the reasons you may want to buy a new blank, blank, blank." The more answers you get here, the better it is for you. The key is to be able to dig deep and until you get the emotions. Answers like, "Well, my kitchen is old," are surface level. When you learn to dig deeper, you get more information, and if you dig deep enough, you get to the emotions. It's emotions that sell, not logic. Let me give you an example. So, if you don't mind me asking, why did you want to get information on replacing your kitchen? "Well, Ron, it's old." And when you say it's old, what did you mean by that? "Well, I don't like the way it looks." In what way? "Well, I don't like the colors or the style." And if you don't mind me asking, how come you don't like the colors or style? Well, the colors look like it's the 70s and the style makes it look like my grandmother's house. And how's that affect you using it? I hate it. And when my friends come over, it's embarrassing, and I try to keep them out of the kitchen as much as possible. This is just an example of the techniques involved and how powerful they can be. It's selling 101. If someone's hungry for an ice cream sundae, asking them why they want one, well, because it's hot and I have a craving for ice cream and chocolate, by them telling you will increase their desire. Another important question I like to use is at the end of my information survey, where after they've told me why they want to replace their windows, and I've gotten all the other information questions like what color, style, etc., I always end with, well, how long have you been thinking about doing this work? Oh, I guess about 2 years. And if you don't mind me asking, why haven't you done anything yet? Well, I guess we haven't gotten around to it, or we're more serious now with the last winter. Then the final question I ask is, so other than the affordability, are you definitely going to get the work done at one point or another? Oh yes, Ron, we need to. That last question is key because now you're getting a firm commitment that they're going to do the work. I'm not trying to create urgency, just get a commitment that they're getting it done. That way I have no more getting to the end and hearing, well, we don't know if we're going to get this done or things like that. You aren't asking them to buy here, just getting commitment they'll definitely do something. That's why you want this to be a specific step where you're sitting down like a consultation with a lawyer. There's no way you can dig that deep by just talking to them in the warm-up without seeming intrusive. Now, how would you like to go to a home where your sales presentation starts with your customer telling you how much they want your product and how much they hate theirs, and that if it's affordable, they definitely want to get the work done? The point is that if you do this right, all of your customers say that every time. Just be sure you don't come across like it's interrogation and be gentle about it. If you need more help with implementing this technique into your sales call and want a deeper dive into this, you can check out my training program listed in the link below. It not only covers everything from A to Z on selling home improvements, but it has downloads of the questionnaire with all the specific questions and exactly how I use them for every home improvement product. Another benefit of doing it this way is that it gives you control and allows you to set the tone and pace. It gives you control because the person who's asking questions is always in control. When they start asking you questions like, well, how long does this take, or how much does it cost, they're starting to take control. By asking questions, I can slow the customer down. Sometimes you have what I call the wild dog customer who's all over the place in the beginning. Well, Ron, I want this, and do you do this, and what if we did this? But by using the survey, I can take control and slow them down. I can see you have a lot of great questions. Tell you what, if you let me ask you a couple more questions, then I can narrow down what you want even further and not only help you more, but do this faster. Is that okay? Another tip is that a lot of times the customers try to lead you when you first get in the home. Well, let's go look at my furnace, or let me show you the windows I want to replace. Remember, you're in control walking in the home. The only way they get control is if you give it to them. When they do that, I always say, not a problem. I definitely have to do that, but before we do that, do you have a table I can use? Because I have to do some writing, and that way we can do this faster. Then get them to the kitchen table, warm up, do your needs analysis with a written survey. So, great. So how long have you lived here? Are you the sole homeowner? And ... Then go look at their bathroom for your physical walk around. Another way using a written survey can help you besides building need and desire and taking control is that it helps build trust and increases rapport. When you learn to get them to explain their answers more, it gets them more involved and shows them that you're listening to them. Trust is built by you listening and understanding what they're saying, not talking. I also use this needs analysis to help build rapport if I get stuck. Other than asking stupid small talk questions like, well, is it hot enough for you? Or what do you think of the higher prices? If you feel like your rapport is going nowhere at the beginning, it's better to move into the needs analysis by saying, well, if you don't mind, we can do this faster if I can ask you a couple questions on what you want information today. Then as you're going through them, it's more natural and conversational to build rapport as you ask the questions. So, are you the sole homeowner? Oh, by the way, what do you do for a living if you don't mind me asking? I hope you take to heart what I've been saying and start doing the needs analysis differently if you aren't already. Now, if you want more information on handling resistance in the home, check out the video on how to handle the sales resistance or the playlist on one-call closing techniques listed above. Happy selling!